Welcome to the DIY Pest Control Podcast, where you get the best info for those who want to perform their own pest control. The DIY Pest Control Podcast is brought to you by Nature Pest. Nature Pest has been providing the finest in commercial and residential integrated pest management for structural, lawns, trees, shrubs, and mosquitoes with better control and less contamination at an affordable price. For more info, visit us at naturepest.com.
Frank the Pest Geek here. I'm going to show you why we use monitors and glue boards to trap American roaches, because if you trap them, you control them. And you can also monitor if you're getting control. Check this out. Okay, so we just pulled these out of the kitchen. It's a very old house. It has a lot of entry points that they're not going to do exclusion. And as you can see, we had these under the stove. That white stuff you see on there, the customer had basically doused underneath the stove with diatomaceous earth, and they picked it up and they got trapped. You can see there's nymphs of all sizes there. This is an Australian cockroach also. It's not the American cockroach. You can see it by the bat eyes in the back of the head, but the control process is the same. And as you can see, there's nymphs that we caught. Here's a nymph in a different size, and there's another nymph. It's the same roach. We also caught a carpenter ant in there and some tiny millipedes. There you can see that an Utica has hatched, and you can count how many you got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So about 16 to 18 I can count that hatched from that Utica. It looks different than the American cockroach Utica, but if you see those little notches at the edge of the ridge, usually if you count those, it's pretty accurate to tell you how many would hatch. She just happened to lay the egg, the Utica there, and it hatched on the board. So you can see what they look like when they're recently hatched. A lot of people think they have German roaches and they got American roaches, and actually they either have one or the other. Yeah, sometimes they have both, but it's very rare. So there you can see, there is another Utica that hasn't hatched, smaller one, but look at the size of these guys. They're not as big as the American cockroach. They're smaller. They're smaller in size. The American cockroach is much larger. So that's one of the things. There you go. It's kind of being able to see it. And what we have, looking at it, trying to see if these are male or females. I got to flip them over to really know for sure when I see the Cersei. But there you go, guys. As you can see, that using glue board monitors is very effective of not only controlling them, because if you catch them, the customer never sees it. The customer never goes through the experience. And this is why we like using it. We can't get 100% control all the time of everything, but using an integrated method of including trapping and monitoring, we can know where the progress is going and how the control is doing. Plus, it also attracts them to that board. We baited that with Niban, Entice 10, and Mother Earth, that kind of mix that we're doing to attract the roaches to the board. Hey, this is Frank the Pest Geek, wishing you a pestacular day.
Thank you for listening to the DIY Pest Control Podcast. Please remember that although Franklin Hernandez is a certified and licensed pest control operator in the state of Florida, the content of this podcast is for informational purposes only. You should consult your local and state government or cooperative extension service before performing any pest control service. Remember to always read and follow label directions, because the label is the law.